I was a kid, bro. I was a kid, bro. Ain't no kid supposed to go through no shit like that, bro. I seen some shit that a kid wasn't supposed to see.
Now, this rapper's career got ruined for quote-unquote snitching. Some of you guys might recognize this story since I covered it last year on a video titled "The Street Code is Ruining This Rapper's Career." If you don't remember or haven't seen the video, I'm gonna go over the story once again and talk about how the rapper in question got his career ruined for what some people call snitching. I'm gonna let you decide though, okay? So yeah. Let's talk about it. Now, Pop Hunna, a name you might recognize. Pop Hunna is a 21-year-old Philly rapper who started catching heat at the end of 2020. He started getting a lot of attention thanks to a record of his called Adderall Corvette Corvette. You might have heard it. After that record started going a little crazy, he dropped a remix to that song featuring the boy Lil Uzi Vert, which gave him a boost. He also later dropped another remix featuring the boy Uzi, which was Takeoff. That ended up being on his Mud Boy project, which came out in December 2020. Things were looking very bright for Pop Hunna during that time. It looked like he was about to take off big time because he had a solid little buzz going for himself. And on top of that, Uzi, who of course is from Philly himself, not only co-signed him but jumped on 2 of his records. Now everything was all good until some documents got exposed, and this is what those documents were about. Back in 2015, a 14-year-old Pop Hunna was the witness in a homicide case where a 14-year-old boy was shot to death. The boy's name was Duval DeShields. He, like I said, was only 14 and got gunned down in Philly. The person who pulled the trigger was a man by the name of Demetrius Brown. He's currently behind bars serving time, and Pop Hunna was one of the witnesses in his case. Now, this paperwork about Pop Hunna's cooperation with the police on his murder leaked, right? And that led to a couple things. The first thing being the fake DMs between Pop Hunna and Lil Uzi Vert. So pretty much what happened was some alleged DMs between Pop Hunna and Lil Uzi Vert were brought to the surface, where Uzi was essentially saying, "Take me off your records, you're a snitch and I can't mess with that." Now, I brought up these alleged DMs in my first video about the story and I said that they were fake, which they are. It's not real. It's cap. Here's the thing though, most people thought they were real. On top of these fake DMs, this fake tweet by Lil Uzi Vert also popped up where Uzi was essentially denouncing Pop Hunna for quote-unquote snitching. During this whole time, all eyes were on Pop Hunna, and he didn't say a single thing about this entire thing. He pretty much just let it sit until people stopped talking about it. And while this was going on, a couple people in the rap industry decided to shit on Pop Hunna by brushing him off as nothing but a snitch. One of those people was Trippie Redd. How he got involved is this. Trippie Redd apparently hit up Tulsi, who's a rapper out of Syracuse, New York. According to Tulsi, Trippie Redd essentially hit him up saying the guy you made a song with, referring to Pop Hunna, that guy is a snitch. Tulsi understandably didn't like that Trippie Redd was worrying about who he was doing business with, so he decided to make that information public. Apart from that, Lil TJ chimed in by saying, "I did a bit at 14, no excuse, this bad works." Lil TJ was pretty much saying snitching ain't cool. Wack 100 also came out to cut and backed up Trippie Redd and criticized Pop Hunna over this. The late Draco the Ruler also had a couple things to say about this.
What's up with all these niggas and like condoning and snitching and all this shit, bro? Like, snitching's not cool. I don't give a fuck if you snitch, nigga, when you was 10 years old, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga, if you snitch when you was 30, nigga.
So essentially what was going on was rappers were essentially ganging up on Pop Hunna for snitching. As the hype surrounding his name started to die down, less and less rappers in the industry were supporting him. Although Lil Uzi Vert didn't say anything publicly about the paperwork that leaked, according to Pop Hunna, in the end, Lil Uzi Vert ended up ghosting him as a result of these documents. He apparently has 5 unreleased songs with Uzi that are most likely never gonna see the light of day. DJ Academics invited Pop Hunna to his podcast the other day where he got the chance to open up about this entire thing.
I was a kid, bro. I was a kid, bro. Ain't no kid supposed to go through no shit like that, bro. I seen some shit that a kid wasn't supposed to see. And then, bro, I gotta live with that. Like, bro, that's gonna always be in my mind. Bro, I have to live with that shit. I don't even sleep, bro. I don't go to sleep at night, bro. I do not sleep, bro. Every time I close my eyes, bro, I see that shit happening over and over and over and over and over again, bro.
I'm gonna leave a link to the full clip in the description below. Really great conversation, but man, you heard what he said. Pop Hunna is clearly traumatized by this entire thing, and how ironic and sad isn't it that the very thing he's traumatized by is also the thing that's stopping him from being accepted by the industry. According to Pop Hunna himself, by the way, people in the industry started switching up as soon as those documents went public. So obviously his career definitely took a hit as a result of this entire thing, which I personally think is ridiculous. In what world should someone get blackballed for being the witness in a murder case where a 14-year-old boy got his life taken away? And on top of that, it was a 14-year-old black kid, okay? Someone from his own community. This shit has been whack to me. People trying to hold a 14-year-old kid accountable for a street code they themselves would never follow is beyond me. But then again, a lot of shit in the rap game is not only cap, but it's backwards anyway. For Pop Hunter, the biggest mistake he made was being silent during this entire thing. Had he came out at the time and laid out all the facts, what happened, why he was a witness in a case, etc., I think he would have been in a way better position right now because, you know, a year later, things aren't really flourishing as much as they were back then. He did, of course, speak on it with academics, but over a year later, it's definitely a little too late since the damage to his career has already been done. It mattered at the time when he had a lot of momentum going for himself, but it doesn't matter now that people have moved on from it. I guess this is a lesson to all my artists out there. If someone throws dirt on your name and that story goes viral on social media, and that story has potential to ruin your career, you gotta nip that shit in the bud in an instant. Whatever nipping that shit in the bud may look like, the point is you gotta respond to it because it's not just gonna go away. That was a very big mistake on Pop Hunter's end. Had he made a proper response then, that response will be at the forefront as a story now a year later when you look it up. Instead, those fake DMs and that tweet pops up. Personally, I don't think his career is over. I just think he needs to build up some momentum and things can continue from there. With that being said, and this is a message to Pop Hunter, do not, I repeat, do not count on all the street niggas in the industry to support you because they won't. They got an image they gotta maintain. Just like any other industry, connections and relationships is where it's at. And if Pop Hunter doesn't have support from the majority of the rappers he's a fan of, things could get hard depending on if he's trying to get in the rapper circle, so to speak, because if that rapper's not messing with him, that rapper's not gonna mess with him, and that rapper's not gonna mess with him, you get the point. At the end of the day though, you don't need any of them. All you need is a hot record. Period. And that's my message to Pop Hunter. But yeah, this rapper's career got ruined for snitching. What do you think though? Pop Hunter, like we spoke about, is a young Philly rapper who started taking off at the end of 2020. As he was on a rise, some documents leaked where he was a witness in a murder case. Duval DeShields was of course the victim in his case. He was a 14-year-old boy who got gunned down in Philly. Like we spoke about, the documents eventually leaked. That of course then led to the rap game turning its back on him. And you know the rest. Any thoughts on it? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.